Master Techniques for Melody Writing. In the complete supplemental workbook on page 103, at the top of the page, you will see melody writing, parallel period, harmonic progression, use after page 200. Now, a harmonic progression or chord progression is the foundation of harmony that establishes the tonality or key of the piece and supports the melody. Now, chord progressions may be indicated by Roman numerals called functional chord symbols, and they're usually written below the staff. Now, in the example box, the parallel period contains both the 5 chord and the 5/7 chord. So you can see them there. The first one is the 5/7 chord, followed by the 5 chord. And this is called the harmonic progression. Listen as Carter explores the master techniques for melody writing in the complete supplemental workbook on page 103. Okay, Carter, so now we're going to go into the complete Rudiments workbook and turn over to the page 103. So we've done the complete Rudiments. Now we're in the supplemental book. Yay, Carter.
I'm so happy right now.
I like it when you're happy. You're so fun to teach. So today we're talking about the harmonic progression or chord progression that is found within the parallel period. So what does Sola say?
Sola says, a disjunct melody may outline the notes of a chord. A conjunct melody may include non-triad notes or passing tones, PT labeled, that connect triad tones with stepwise motion.
Very well said. So let's take a look at the music. In the first measure, is that actually going to be a disjunct melody or is that conjunct melody?
It is going to be a disjunct melody.
Okay, how do you know that? What does that mean?
Well, a disjunct melody is a movement or change in movement in a measure, let's say, that is changed by steps or leaps.
Correct.
So
of the chord.
You're right.
Okay, so now what about the other definition there that we had was a conjunct melody. So if we're looking in measure 1, 2, 3, we see a PT in there. And what is a PT exactly?
Well, a passing tone is a note in between two notes of a chord.
Very good.
So if a disjunct melody is moving by steps, then the conjunct, or not steps, but skips and leaps, then the conjunct melody is being moved by steps.
Very good. Well said. Yeah. All right, so now let's take a look at the melody, and I'd like you to go ahead and play that. So we see that we have functional chord symbols below, and we're just going to play the root note of each one of them while you're playing the melody. So this is called a parallel period. So we're going to play it first, and then we're going to do a little analysis about it. So go ahead and play that for us, Carter.
Okay.
Reading. Now, when we're looking at the melody, how can you tell that it is a parallel period? What do you notice about the measures?
Well, when you look at the first two measures in both phrases, they are identical with one another. Parallel meaning identical.
Right. Same direction, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And when we look at the last two measures, are they the same or different?
Well, they are different, but they have the same idea to them. They have the first three notes going in the contrary motion.
Right. Okay, and how are we ending the first 4-bar phrase?
We're ending it with a imperfect or half cadence,
right,
if you will.
Okay, and then the final measure is with a?
Is with a authentic or perfect cadence.
Excellent. Okay, good job on that. In the complete supplemental workbook on page 104, the instructions indicate to observe the chord symbols. Notice that the functional chord symbols below each exercise are the same, right? Does that make sense? When we look at the answer book on page 104, notice that although the functional chord symbols are the same, the root quality chord symbols written above the staff are different as they're based on the key of the melody. And in the answer pages, we notice the same functional chord symbols with different melodic lines above the harmonic progression. So just because we have the same functional chord symbols doesn't mean that we have the same melodic line. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Listen as Carter reviews the functional and root quality chord symbols at the top of page 104. We're talking about same and different. So we can have the same functional chord symbols as we're seeing in the example 1, 4, 5, 1. That's 5, 7, but the bass note is still 5. And then the next one says 1, 4, 5, 1 as well. So we have the same functional chord symbols used for different melodies. So let's go ahead and listen to the 1, 4, 5, 1 for those two. So we have two different keys, C major and F major. So go ahead and play the C major first.
Okay.
Okay, what's the next key?
Next key is F major.
Okay, so let's do F major. Very good. So was the root quality, or sorry, functional chord symbol the same?
It was.
Yeah, so we're just going for the same 1, 4, 5, 1. Okay, now let's play the melody and see if they're the same.
Okay.
Very good. And the next one in F major. So was the melody the same or different?
The melody was different.
Different, but the functional chord symbols
Were the same.
were the same. And then we see our root quality chord symbols above the music, and obviously they are based on the same functional chord symbols, but they're different because they're in different
Keys.
Nice. LOL Complete Supplemental number 2. Organize simple steps to excel in your studies. Now, throughout the Ultimate Music Theory Workbook program, we have organized simple steps to help you excel in your studies. At the back of each Rudiments workbook is the Ultimate Music Theory chart, and this includes the circle of fifths with major keys on the outside of the circle and relative minor keys on the inside of the circle. And this is what I call the open circle of fifths, where you can clearly see each key and its key signature. Now, throughout the UMT series, you will also find mnemonic devices or memory joggers to help you easily identify concepts, such as the image mnemonics for the harmonic and melodic minor scales. So harmonic and melodic minor scales. And these organized memory joggers with simple steps will help you to excel in your studies. So here's Carter hanging out with his friends Sola and Tito, and he's about to reveal if he's more like Sola or more like Tito. Which one do you think he is? Go ahead and put your answer in the chat box. Is he more like Sola or more like Tito? I'm really interested to see what you think. Okay, let's go ahead and see what they're up to. Well, there's Sol and Tito. And there's Carter. What's going on?
Just reflecting how to do my theory.
Anybody helping you out today?
Oh, I've got my good friends Sola and Tito.
Do you? Okay, so are you more like a Sola or are you more like a Tito?
Well, I'd have to say I'm definitely more like Tito. While Sola loves to sing and dance, Tito loves to count and march, and Tito loves to tap, and I'm a bass player in jazz too, and tapping and counting is really most of what I do. So I think that Tito and I relate very well with one another.
That's great. I totally think you guys are buds forever. So you are getting organized, and as a bass player and section leader, and you've accomplished a lot of things. You've been a musician of the year and won gold at festivals, and in addition to playing the piano, playing the bass, you're quite amazing. And
thank you.
Yeah, and I know that theory has helped you a lot. And so tell me some of the things that maybe help you get organized when you're preparing for an exam and in particular in the theory. So what have you got going on here?
Well, when I'm preparing for a theory exam, I like to start with making my circle of fifths.
All right.
Now, we've already started with the major keys here. And we have my flats and my sharps. So we'll just go through the minor keys really quickly.
All right.
So we start at 4. We go with our F, C,
Father Charles goes
down, and ends battle.
Mm-hmm.
And we start with Father. That's a lowercase f.
Father.
Charles.
Sharp.
Go sharp. Down sharp. And sharp. Coming to left field here with the N flat. And then ends flat. And paddle flat.
Excellent. So when you're looking at the complete workbook and you're looking at the Ultimate Music Theory chart on the back, I see that we've got some memory joggers there, and we also call those mnemonic devices. So what's going on with your H and your M? What does that kind of help you remember?
Well, the H with the little 7 hidden in here, it represents a harmonic minor scale. So we know from a harmonic minor that we go up. We raise the 7th on the way up and the way down. And so that's why we have the arrows pointing up and the 7 hidden in here.
All right.
Now for the M over here, the M stands for melodic. And we have our little 6 and 7 in between. Now we go our arrows up because we raise the 6th and 7th on the way up. And we put our arrows down as well, going down, because you lower the 6 and 7 on the way down.
Excellent. Well, that's a really, really good memory jogger.